Hello everyone. In the previous video, we have discussed about the first two dynasties of the Delhi Sultanate. Those were Mamluk dynasty and Khalji dynasty. In this video, you will get an idea about the three next dynasty. Those are Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. About their rulers, their foundation, important reforms by the different rulers and their decline. So let us proceed with third dynasty of Delhi Sultanate, Tughlaq dynasty. These are the three important rulers of Tughlaq dynasty: Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and Firuz Shah Tughlaq. The Khaljis were replaced by the Tughlaqs in 1320 CE. The founder of this dynasty was Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, who was also known as Ghazi Malik. He ruled Delhi from 1320 to 1325 CE. He built the city of Tughlaqabad and made it as his capital. He wanted to restore the administrative system by removing prevailing abuses. His sum of reforms in the field of administration, such as justice and police, to maintain law and order and peace and security. He did many works to help out public by improving the finances of the state. Agriculture was encouraged by improving the means of irrigations. He planted many fruit gardens. Postal system was reorganized and military department was made efficient. He could rule only for 5 years and died in 1325 CE. Prince Jona Khan, better known as Muhammad bin Tughlaq, ascended the throne in 1325. He was undoubtedly one of the most erudite and accomplished rulers. Erudite means having great knowledge, and accomplished means highly skilled in any of the activity. He had a brilliant memory, very keen intellect, and a great capacity of assimilating knowledge. He was proficient in different branches of knowledge such as logic, philosophy, astronomy, mathematics. Really, it is appreciable that one person is proficient in these many fields. He was also a fine calligrapher. Again, he has having the good knowledge of Persian poetry. He tried to take many administrative reforms, but despite being innovative, most of his plans failed because he was impractical. That is the reason he was a very unpopular among the people. He never visualized the practical implementation of those policies, and hence most of his policies or reforms failed. So he was known as the wisest fool also. Let us see his administrative reforms so you will get an idea how he was unpopular among the masses. His first reform was raising the taxation in Doab. In last video also we discussed Doab is a rich and fertile land between the two rivers, one such between Ganga and Yamuna. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, his predecessor, has reduced the land revenue to 1/10 or 1/11 of the total produce. We have already studied Alauddin Khalji fixed it to 50%, which was known as Kharaj. Then next in the line of succession, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq reduced it. Now, Muhammad bin Tughlaq again increased it and even started taking some additional taxes also. And never this government tried to understand the problems of the peasants. Even during the situation like famine or the crop failure also, so the farmers couldn't pay the taxes. Agriculture was adversely affected. and which resulted that farmers left their lands and shifted to the other places. Now, when Sultan got to know, he sent his officers to bring them back and force them to cultivate. Then farmers went in the rebellion mode. So this, his first reform, failed. Now let us see his next administrative measure, that was transfer of his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Now, why he thought of transferring the capital? What were the reasons behind that? You can see that Devgiri is more centrally located. The first reason of shifting the capital was the strategic location of Devgiri. He thought as it is located in more centrally, so safe from the others foreign invasions. Another reason, as it was located more centrally compared to Delhi, it was easy for him to administer the southern territories from Devgiri. We have studied in the previous dynasty only, Khalji dynasty. Alauddin extended the Delhi Sultanate in southern territory, southern part also. That's why it was easy. He found it easy to administer the southern territories from Devgiri. Third reason was he found the Devgiri safe from the Mongol attacks. And that's why he issued a strict order to his ministers, the other people, his soldiers, to shift from Delhi to Devgiri, which he renamed as a Daulatabad. For this, he have done all the necessary arrangements to make the journey comfortable. He planted the trees on the both sides of the road. He built temporary shelters for the people, built spacious roads. But still, as the distance from Delhi to Devgiri, it was so long, almost 1500 kilometers. So people found it very difficult and many people died on the way. When he realized his mistake, he ordered people to move back to Delhi. So this way, his second reform also failed and government suffered huge financial losses also. So his third reform was introduction of the token currency. The failure of early measures of Muhammad bin Tughlaq had drained the royal treasury. So, to replenish his treasury, he tried another novel experiment, that was introduction of token currency. As during that time, because of shortage of silver and availability of the bronze in ample amount, he instructed that the bronze coins should be considered equal in value to silver coins, known as tanka. Now what happened? As bronze was easily available, people started forging of the coins and the new coins began to devalue. Now forge means the duplicate coins, forged coins means duplicate coins, resulted in a huge loss of revenue. When he realized, he ordered that all the token coins be exchanged with the silver coins. Now with original coins, duplicate or forged coins even exchange, resulting in a great financial losses to the government. So this also his reforms failed. Now, previously only we discussed his first reform, raising the taxation in Ado. So because of his reform, this reform, the agriculture adversely affected. So he tried to improve in the field of agriculture with the last reform. Number of officers were appointed with the instruction to extend the cultivation by granting loans to the cultivators and encourage them to sow superior crops in a rotation. But still the measure didn't bring. This was his very good reform, but still it failed. And the reason was due to his inexperienced and corrupt officers. Those officers utilized that money for their own benefit rather than investing on agriculture. So this way, most of his reform failed. The Muhammad bin Tughlaq died suddenly, which urged the nobles to nominate his cousin Firuz Shah Tughlaq to the throne. Firuz Shah was a benevolent ruler. He abolished many unjust taxes levied by his predecessors. His predecessor was Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who raised the taxes. Even he started taking extra taxes also. So Ghiyasuddin reduced it. Then Muhammad bin Tughlaq again raised the taxes and levied extra taxes, which was abolished by Firuz Shah Tughlaq. To improve the agriculture production, he constructed many canals and repaired the old one. He founded the city of Firuzabad. He banned many inhuman punishments which were prevailed during those times. Those inhuman punishments he banned and reformed the judicial system. After his death, his weak successors could not save Delhi from disruption. Nasruddin Muhammad Tughlaq was the last ruler who was not important ruler, and after his death, Tughlaq dynasty came to an end. So this way, Tughlaq dynasty declined. We already studied that many foreign invaders invaded India because of its wealth and prosperity. For example, Mahmud of Ghazni, Muhammad Ghori, and many more. And one of such invader was Amir Timur. He attacked India in 1398 CE as a part of his aggressive territorial conquest. He ransacked many places and occupied Delhi. He carried immense booty. Whatever the wealth, immense booty he carried with a large number of captives, including Indian artisans. As the Indian art was very popular during those days, he carried some Indian artisans also with him. Before leaving India, Timur amply rewarded Khizr Khan Sayyid for his support during the invasion, and he appointed him as the governor of Multan, Lahore, and Dipalpur. Like you must have remembered, Muhammad Ghori appointed Qutubuddin Aibak. So this way Timur appointed Khizr Khan Sayyid. After the Tughlaqs, Khizr Khan established the rule of Sayyids in 1440 CE. He did not declare himself as a sultan and instead preferred to rule as a deputy of Timur's son Shahrukh. Khizr Khan succeeded by his son Mubarak Shah. The last ruler was Alauddin Alam Shah. He was an inefficient ruler. He himself voluntarily handed over the kingdom in the favor of Bahlul Lodi in 1451 CE, and he left for Badam and continued to live there till his death. So this way, the Sayyid dynasty also came to an end. And now the last dynasty, that is Lodi dynasty. The last dynasty, Lodi dynasty, was an Afghan dynasty. As we discussed, Bahlul Lodi was its founder. He was succeeded by Sikandar Lodi. He was the ablest of the three rulers of the Lodi dynasty. After the death of Sikandar Lodi, his eldest son Ibrahim Lodi ascended the throne. He was killed by Babur in the first battle of Panipat in 1526 CE. Here, Delhi Sultanate collapsed with the foundation of the Mughal rule in India by Babur. So, we have studied about all five dynasties of the Delhi Sultanate. Thank you, student. Thank you so much.